we will continue our topic oral hypoglycemic agent and oral anti-diabetic drug. Oral anti-diabetic drug or the oral hypoglycemic agent. There are two terms: oral hypoglycemic agent and the oral anti-diabetic drug. So, what is the main difference between the oral hypoglycemic agent and the oral anti-diabetic drug? So both the drugs they are used for the treatment of the both the terms they are used for the treatment of the diabetes. Number one thing, okay, that is the same. And both the groups of the drugs, they are orally given. Route of administration is the oral. But one main difference is that the oral hypoglycemic agents they may produce the hypoglycemia if the drug is given more than the normal range, or if the diabetic patient missed the meal, if the diabetic patient missed the meal, so they may develop the hypoglycemia. Whereas the oral anti-diabetic drugs, they never produces the hypoglycemia. Okay, they produces the euglycemia. Okay. They reduce the hyperglycemia to the euglycemia, whereas the oral hypoglycemia, they may reduce the hyperglycemia to the euglycemia to the hypoglycemia. That is the main difference between the oral hypoglycemic agent and the oral anti-diabetic drugs. So among these drugs, what we have discussed, that is about the sulfonylureas and the glenides. Sulfonylureas and the glenides, the two groups are there, they produces the hypoglycemia, whereas the biguanides, that is the metformin, they never produces the hypoglycemia, rather they produces the euglycemia. Okay, that is the main difference between. Okay, so we will continue our oral hypoglycemic agent. So we have discussed about the sulfonylureas, and glenides and the biguanides. So we have discussed about what are the drugs for that respective groups, their mechanism of action and their indications, their adverse effects, even the contraindications, and even the drug interactions. Okay, so alpha glucosidase inhibitors. So the drugs that comes under the alpha glucosidase inhibitors, they are the acarbose and the miglitol. Commonly used. Acarbose is the commonly used. Okay, they are the acarbose and the miglitol. Okay, so what is the mechanism of action? Okay, first of all, we have to understand that what is alpha glucosidase? Because what is alpha glucosidase? Alpha glucosidase is an enzyme that is present on the brush border of the intestine. Alpha glucosidase is an enzyme that is present on the brush border of the intestine. What is the role of the alpha glucosidase inhibitor? The role of the alpha glucosidase inhibitor is to break down the oligosaccharides to the polysaccharides and the other sugars. Okay, that is the role of the. That means the okay, and we know that the polysaccharides, they are better absorbed than the oligosaccharides. No, so alpha glucosidase inhibitors, they inhibits this alpha glucosidase inhibitor like the acarbose and the miglitol. They bind to the alpha glucosidase enzyme, so they inhibits the alpha glucosidase enzyme. So by inhibiting the alpha glucosidase enzyme, what will happen? There will be the inhibition or the slowdown of the breakdown of the oligosaccharides to the polysaccharides and the other sugars. So they decreases the absorption of the polysaccharides, and results the decrease in the postprandial high blood glucose level. Postprandial means the glucose level that is increased immediately after taking the meal. That's called the postprandial high blood glucose level. I will repeat it again. What's the alpha glucosidase enzyme? Alpha glucosidase inhibitor, the drugs are the miglitol and the acarbose. And alpha glucosidase inhibitors are the drugs that inhibit the alpha glucosidase enzyme. What is the role of the alpha glucosidase enzyme? The role of the alpha glucosidase enzyme that is present on the brush border of the intestine. So that inhibits the breakdown of the oligosaccharides to the polysaccharides. So by inhibiting, so alpha glucosidase inhibitors, they inhibits the alpha glucosidase enzyme. So what will happen? There will be the slowdown of the reabsorption of the, or slowdown of the breakdown, or the inhibition of the breakdown of the oligosaccharides to the polysaccharides. There is a slowdown of the absorption of the polysaccharides into the circulation, so that postprandial, so they at the end they reduces the increase in the postprandial blood glucose
Yes, sir.
Just remember that they inhibits the alpha glucosidase enzyme, so that they inhibits the breakdown of the oligosaccharides to the polysaccharides, and they slow down the absorption of the polysaccharides, so that there will be the reduction in the postprandial blood glucose level. Very simple. That is the mechanism of action of the alpha glucosidase enzyme. Okay. Now the pharmacokinetics, they are poorly absorbed. These drugs, they are poorly absorbed. About the drugs, no, miglitol and the acarbose, they are poorly absorbed. That is, they remains. That means that they remains in the intestinal bacteria. They remains in the intestine. They remains in the intestine. So they are metabolized by the intestinal bacteria. They are metabolized by the intestinal bacteria. Some portion of the drugs excreted into the urine. Okay, if they absorb, then that portion is excreted into the urine. Otherwise, excretion basically into the feces. But the important thing is here, they are poorly absorbed, and primarily they are metabolized in the intestinal bacteria. That is the important thing. Poorly absorbed, because if they are not absorbed, they remains in the intestine. So the intestinal bacteria metabolize them. That is the pharmacokinetics of the alpha glucosidase inhibitor. I think everything is clear here. No need to discuss this in detail. Okay. Should I continue? Okay. Now the indications. So we know that in type 2 diabetes mellitus, they are used in the type 2 diabetes mellitus to control the postprandial plasma glucose level. Okay. So they are not given alone. They are given in the combination. So which combination? Either the biguanides or the sulfonylureas. Okay. So the main drugs for the type 2 diabetes mellitus that is commonly used in the clinical setting is the number one is the biguanides. Among them also the metformin is the most common drug, and the second drug that is commonly used is the sulfonylureas. Second generation sulfonylureas like glimepiride, gliclazide, glipizide, and the glibenclamide. These are the second generation sulfonylureas. And the other drugs, they are given in the combinations. Okay. The indication of the type 2 diabetes mellitus is that is used for the type 2 diabetes mellitus to control the postprandial plasma glucose level. Okay. Now the adverse drug reaction, because they are metabolized by the intestinal bacteria, so they produces and they are not poorly absorbed. That is the reason they produces the GIT disturbances. Like the diarrhea, flatulence, and the abdominal cramp. These are the common GIT disturbances. Adverse drug reactions, because they are poorly absorbed and they are metabolized by the intestinal bacteria. That is the reason they produces the GIT disturbances, which produces the symptoms which are the flatulence, diarrhea, and the abdominal cramp. These are the common adverse drug reactions. Okay, very simple. Okay. Now, contraindications. So they should be absolutely contraindicated or the relatively contraindicated. Absolutely भनेको दिदै हुँदैन र दिनै पर्यो भने एकदमै cautiously दिनुपर्छ. That's called the relative contraindication. In which conditions? Intestinal diseases. Thank you. In which condition? Intestinal diseases. So because why the intestinal diseases? Because these drugs remains in the intestine. Most of the time they remains in the intestine, and they're metabolized by the intestinal bacteria. So intestinal disease like the intestinal obstruction, okay, irritable bowel syndrome, and the inflammatory bowel diseases. These are the intestinal diseases. Intestinal obstruction, irritable bowel syndrome, and the inflammatory bowel disease. Okay. So irritable intestinal obstruction, there could be the small intestinal obstruction and the large intestinal obstruction. Irritable bowel syndrome, that could be the predominant of the constipation or the predominant of the diarrhea. And the inflammatory bowel disease, there are the two types of the inflammatory bowel disease. One is the ulcerative colitis, and the second is the Crohn's disease. Ulcerative colitis and the Crohn's disease. And basically, you do not need to remember this in detail. Only remember that in the intestinal diseases, they are absolutely or relatively contraindicated. They are the intestinal obstruction, irritable bowel syndrome, and the inflammatory bowel disease. Okay. Now the thiazolidinediones. Okay. Examples. The drugs are the rosiglitazone and the pioglitazone. These drugs are not common. The commonly used drugs are the sulfonylureas. The commonly used drugs are the sulfonylureas and the biguanides, glinides, and this alpha glucosidase inhibitor. Thiazolidinedines, these are not commonly used. Rosiglitazone and the pioglitazone, they are not commonly used. They are used in the combination. They are used in the combination. Okay, for the in addition to the main drugs. In addition to the main drugs, rosiglitazone and the pioglitazone. Okay, what is the mechanism of action? Exact mechanism is still to be elucidated. Okay, manale under study. Okay, that means exact mechanism is still exact mechanism of action of the is still unknown. Is still unknown. But it is believed that, or it is assumed that they bind to the peroxisome proliferator activated receptors. Okay, there is a nuclear receptor. That is the nuclear receptors. Where these receptors are present, these receptors are present within the nucleus of the peripheral tissues where the insulin act. What are the peripheral tissues where the insulin act? They are the peripheral tissues like the liver, adipose tissue, and the skeletal muscles. These are the peripheral tissue where the insulin act. Okay, where the insulin bind and shows the action. Okay, so it is believed that they bind to these drugs. They bind to this receptor, a nuclear receptor that is known as peroxisome proliferator activated receptor, gamma. Peroxisome proliferator activated receptor, gamma. So what is the role of this receptor? Actually, the role of this receptor is it regulates the transcription of the gene that involves in the lipid metabolism and the insulin action. Okay, so when they bind to that receptor, okay, so after binding to that receptor, they reduces the insulin resistance in the skeletal muscles, adipose tissues, and the liver. That means, what is the insulin resistance? Insulin resistance means peripheral utilization of the insulin by the peripheral tissues will be inhibited. That will be reduced. That's called the insulin resistance. But these drugs, they reduces the insulin resistance. So when there is a reduction in the insulin resistance by the peripheral tissue, what will happen? There will be the enhancement of the peripheral utilization of the glucose. So what is the mechanism of action of this thiazolidinedine? Their exact mechanism is unknown, but it is believed that they bind to the, in simple language, they bind to the peroxisome proliferator activated receptor, gamma. It's a nuclear receptor. So by binding to that receptor, they reduces the insulin resistance by the peripheral tissues like the liver, adipose tissue, and the skeletal muscles. So because of that, what will happen? There will be the increase in the peripheral utilization of the glucose. So by increasing the peripheral utilization of the glucose, what will happen? They clears the excessive glucose present in the plasma glucose level, in the blood or in the plasma. That is the assumed mechanism of action of the thiazolidinedine. They are not going to ask you this mechanism of action because it's still unknown. The important mechanism of action they will ask about that will be the sulfonylureas, and that will be the glinide. Sulfonylureas in the glinide is the same mechanism of action. Biguanides and the alpha glucosidase inhibitors. These are the if they will ask the question, they will ask the question from. If they ask the question about the mechanism of action of the anti-diabetic drug or the oral hypoglycemic agent, they will ask from that drug, not from this drug. Okay, so it is like that. Okay. Now the pharmacokinetics, orally well absorbed. Okay, this drug is orally well absorbed and extensively binds to the plasma albumin. Metabolized by the liver. Rosiglitazone excreted in the urine, while the pioglitazone excreted in the bile and the. Okay, no need to explain here. Orally well absorbed, extensively bind to the plasma albumin, metabolized by the liver. Rosiglitazone excreted in the urine, while the pioglitazone excreted in the bile and the. Okay. Why only 2 or 3 students? Why only 2 or 3 students? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sapele na bhannu feri hai. But most of the time, the response is only from the 2 or 3 students.
Yes, sir.
Okay, among that also only Sudesha, Swastika. I think she's not here right now. Dipesh Saha, only 2 or 3 students they are showing the response, other you are quite. So I think everything is clear. What is that? What are the indicates? If there's a if the silence is there, what does that indicate? Everything is okay, or
Yeah.
I know that now. I think few minutes before, as there was a problem with you for joining this Zoom classes, and I think that's this much, you know. So के छ यो चुप लाग्नु भन्नेको what does that indicate? त्यो के को हो कि सबै बुझेछु भन्ने हो कि बुझे छैन भन्ने हो? What is there? Clear it please.
बुझे त भन्ने
बुझेछ भन्ने बुझेछ नि त हैन, ठीक छ। त्यसो भए if that is there, that's okay. If that is there, that's okay ना. If something is confused, then please ask the question, है? Should I continue?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, please come la.
Sir, एकचोटि त्यो अल्फा ग्लुकोसाइडेज इनहिबिटरहरुको मेकानिजम अफ एक्सन देखाइदिनु न।
देखाउनु मात्र पर्ने कि भन्नु पर्ने?
एकचोटि फेरि भन्दिनु।
Okay. So what is there in the alpha glucosidase enzyme? The drugs that comes under the alpha glucosidase inhibitors are the acarbose, and the miglitol. Right? Okay, now. So alpha glucosidase is an enzyme, right? It's a very simple, you can understand in that manner. The alpha glucosidase enzyme ko role kyo bane for the absorption of the glucose, basically for they enhances the absorption of the glucose. How they enhances the absorption of the glucose from the intestine? By breakdown of the oligosaccharides to the polysaccharides or the other sugars.
Sir. So oligosaccharides are the sugar having 2 to 10 glucose unit, and polysaccharides are bigger than oligosaccharides. So how the oligosaccharides can break down into polysaccharide?
हैन यो कस्तो फेरि भनौं त।
मैले भन्न खोजेको ओलिगोस्याकाराइड्स भनेको चाहिँ 2 देखि 10 वटा ग्लुकोज युनिटहरु भएको कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स हैन। पोलिस्याकाराइड भनेको त ओलिगोस्याकाराइड भन्दा ठूलो कार्बोहाइड्रेट हो नि त। अनि ओलिगोस्याकाराइडलाई चाहिँ अल्फा ग्लुकोसाइडेज इन्जाइमले कसरी पोलिस्याकाराइडमा डिग्रेड गर्छ?
ब्रेकडाउन गर्छ नि त। ओलिगो हेल्प गर्छ मतलब अल्फा ग्लुकोसाइडेज इन्जाइमको चाहिँ ब्रस बोर्ड इज रेस्पोन्सिबल। यसको चाहिँ उ चाहिँ हो अलिकति चाहिँ यसले चाहिँ ओलिगोस्याकाराइडले हैन पोलिस्याकाराइड
मोनोस्याकाराइड हुनुपर्ने जस्तो लाग्यो कि पोलिस्याकाराइड्स भनेको त बिगर कार्बोहाइड्रेट भन्दा पनि
पोलिस्याकाराइड्स भनेको त बिगर कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स हो। ओके मोनोस्याकाराइड्स टु द ओलिगोस्याकाराइड्स भनेको के हो नि?
स्याकाराइड्सहरु भनेको कार्बोहाइड्रेट ह्याभिङ 2 to 10 के भन्छ मोनोस्याकाराइड युनिट। स्मलेस्ट युनिट अफ कार्बोहाइड्रेट मोनोस्याकाराइड भयो।
ओके इट इज लाइक ओके है मोनोस्याकाराइड्सलाई पोलिस्याकाराइड्समा चाहिँ कन्भर्ट गर्नलाई रोक्छ भन्न खोजेको हैन।
ओलिगोस्याकाराइडलाई चाहिँ मोनोस्याकाराइडमा कन्भर्ट गर्छ
अल्फा ग्लुकोसिडेज इन्जाइमले।
हजुर
ओलिगोस्याकाराइडले चाहिँ पोलिस्याकाराइड्समा चाहिँ कन्भर्ट गर्छ।
ओलिगोस्याकाराइडलाई मोनोस्याकाराइडमा गर्नुपर्ने हो कि ओलिगोस्याकाराइड भन्दा त पोलिस्याकाराइड बिगर कार्बोहाइड्रेट हो नि त। त्यही भएर ब्रेकडाउन प्रोडक्ट पोलिस्याकाराइड।
ओके सो दिस इज कसरी बुझ्ने भने हैन अल्फा ग्लुकोसिडेज इन्जाइमको चाहिँ हैन मेन भनेको चाहिँ रोल भनेको चाहिँ हैन अल्फा ग्लुकोसिडेज इन्जाइमको ब्रस्ट बोर्डर अफ द इन्टेस्टाइनमा हुन्छ यसको हैन। यसको रोल भनेको चाहिँ यो यसको रोल भनेको चाहिँ मेन भनेको एब्जर्प्सन हुन्छ नि ग्लुकोजको जुन चाहिँ एकदमै कुन ग्लुकोज चाहिँ बेटर एब्जर्ब हुन्छ नि? मोनोस्याकाराइड बेटर एब्जर्ब हुन्छ नि हैन। ल ठीक छैन एब्जर्प्सन अफ द ग्लुकोज जुन हुन्छ नि एब्जर्प्सन अफ द ग्लुकोजलाई चाहिँ हैन रिड्युस गरिदिन्छ। त्यसरी बुझौँ न त हैन। अल्फा ग्लुकोसिडेज इन्जाइमले चाहिँ एब्जर्प्सन अफ द जुन ग्लुकोज हुन्छ नि ओके त्यसलाई चाहिँ रिड्युस गरिदिन्छ कि अल्फा ग्लुकोसिडेज इन्जाइम कहाँ हुन्छ? अल्फा ग्लुकोसिडेज इन्जाइम इज प्रेजेन्ट अन द ब्रस्ट बोर्डर अफ द इन्टेस्टाइनमा प्रेजेन्ट हुन्छ नि त हैन। अल्फा ग्लुकोसिडेज इन्जाइम इज प्रेजेन्ट अन द ब्रस्ट बोर्डर अफ द इन्टेस्टाइन। सो इट इज द रोल अफ द अल्फा ग्लुकोसिडेज इन्जाइम इज टु रिड्युस द एब्जर्प्सन अफ द ग्लुकोज। यसरी बुझौँ यो चाहिँ अब यो चाहिँ बायोकेमिस्ट्री भयो हैन अलिकति हैन। बायोकेमिस्ट्रीमा चाहिँ अब त्यो भएर हुन सक्छ हैन किनभने मैले चाहिँ यो बुकबाट चाहिँ आई थिंक यो क्याटजङबाट लेखेको क्याटजङमा त्यसरी लेखेको थियो हैन। त्यसैले दैट इज द रिजन हैन। म डिटेलमा चाहिँ गएन बायोकेमिस्ट्रीमा चाहिँ हैन। इट वाज रिटन इन द क्याटजङ सो दैट आई हैव टेकन फ्रम दैट हैन। सो हामीले यो कसरी बुझ्न सक्छौं भने मेकानिजम अफ एक्सनले चाहिँ अल्फा ग्लुकोसिडेज इन्जाइमले चाहिँ ब्रस्ट बोर्डर अफ द इन्टेस्टाइनल बोर्डरमा हुन्छ। यसले चाहिँ के गर्छ भने जुन सुगर भनौं न सिम्पल ल्याङ्ग्वेजमा हैन सुगर जुन हुन्छ नि सुगर ग्लुकोज भनौं हैन ग्लुकोजलाई चाहिँ के गर्छ भनेपछि हैन एब्जर्प्सनलाई चाहिँ इट इनहिबिट्स द it slows down the absorption and the digestion of the oligosaccharides, polysaccharides भनेर लेखेको छ त्यहाँ चाहिँ हैन. So I will see that again हैन. I will see that again, then I will confirm you that हैन actually what is problem there भनेर हैन, किन मैले त बुकबाटै लेखेको यो चाहिँ सबै कुरा हैन. So it can be so यसरी बुझ्ने हैन कि जुन ग्लुकोजको मोलिक्युल
यो टाइपिङ मिस्टेक भयो होला सर तपाईको यो ओलिगोसैकेराइड एन्ड पोलिसैकेराइड हुन पर्ने ठाउँमा 2 भयो के
हो एन्ड हुन पर्ने सर हो
त्यति मात्र अरु केही भएन
एन्ड
ओके ओके ठीक छ त्यसमा धेरै
बाकी सबै ठिकै छ त्यहाँ
ओके 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 टेन्सन नलियो हैन ठुलो कुरो हैन इट्स नट अ बिगर इश्यू हैन यो बिगर इश्यू
हजुर हजुर
कसरी बुझ्नु पर्यो हैन यसमा खासै त्यो के रे मैले चाहिँ उ गरे भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ नबुझौं त्यसमा चाहिँ हैन त्यसमा चाहिँ के भनेपछि अल्फा ग्लुकोसिडेज एन्जाइमले के गर्छ भन्ने हैन अल्फा ग्लुकोसिडेज एन्जाइमले हैन स्टुडेन्टबाट पनि सिक्नु पर्छ है स्टुडेन्टबाट दैट इज अ गुड आई लाइक दिस टाइप अफ द डिस्कसन हैन स्टुडेन्टबाट पनि सिक्नु पर्छ हैन अब बुकबाट मैले लेखेको हो हैन अब मैले त्यो भनेको त्यो एकचोटी फेरि हेरौँला हैन तर यसमा चाहिँ के छ भनेपछि हैन अल्फा ग्लुकोसिडेज एन्जाइमले ओके अल्फा ग्लुकोसिडेज कसरी बुझ्ने भनेपछि हैन अल्फा ग्लुकोसिडेज एन्जाइमले चाहिँ जुन सुगर को जुन दैट इज दिस दे बाइन्ड टु द अल्फा ग्लुकोसिडेज एन्जाइम प्रेजेंट इन द ब्रस्ट border of the intestine सुगर को जुन उ के रे सुगर को जुन एब्जर्प्सन हुन्छ र डाइजेसन हुन्छ त्यसले चाहिँ के हुन्छ रिड्युस गरिदिन्छ रिड्युस भएपछि के हुन्छ एब्जर्प्सन रिड्युस भएपछि के हुन्छ द लेभल अफ द ब्लड ग्लुकोज लेभलमा जाने जुन सुगर हुन्छ दैट विल बी रिड्युस that reduces the postprandial high blood glucose level. Now indications of the thiazolidinediones, that is the type 2 diabetes mellitus. It is used in the type 2 diabetes mellitus. You know about that. Okay, alone or in combination with the metformin or the sulfonylureas. Basically alone to then a combination with the metformin or the sulfonylureas unsa yo. But nowadays this drug is not used commonly because other drugs are available, sulfonylureas, metformin and the alpha glucosidase inhibitors. So अर्जपन त्यो भन्दा राम्रो अर्को ड्रग छ जुन चाहिँ कमनली युज हुन्छ nowadays, that is the adverse drug reaction, weight gain. Important adverse drug reaction is the weight gain. यति मात्र बुझ्यो हुन्छ weight gain. अरु चाहिँ रेयरली हुन्छ edema, headache, liver toxicity, that is rarely, but the important adverse drug reaction with the alpha glucosidase enzyme is the weight gain. Okay. Liver disease ma contraindicated huncha. Okay, or this it is contraindicated in the liver disease because the metabolism bhaneko bile र feces ma huncha ni, that is the reason which is contraindicated in the liver diseases. Okay. Okay, now new oral anti-diabetic drugs. They are the new oral anti-diabetic drugs ma ke cha glucagon-like peptide 1 analog and the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitors. Glucagon-like peptide 1 analog and the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitor. Okay, these are the new oral anti-diabetic drugs. Okay, among this dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitor that is nowadays commonly used. They are sitagliptin, saxagliptin, and the linagliptin. Okay, what is a glucagon-like peptide 1 analog and the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitor? यसमा चाहिँ यसरी हेर्ने है. Basically generally के हुन्छ, when the meal is taken or glucose consumption is there, what will happen? Incretin hormone huncha hamro intestine ko ma ke huncha incretin hormone huncha. What is the role of the incretin hormone? This incretin hormone is released immediately after 5 to 10 minutes, within the 5 minutes of the taking the meal. Okay, so incretin hormone le ke garcha? Incretin hormone le chahi they stimulates the insulin release and they suppresses the glucagon release. They stimulate the insulin release or the insulin release from the pancreatic beta cells, and they inhibits the glucagon release from the pancreatic alpha cells. So overall effect will be they lowers the blood glucose level. Okay, incretin hormone. यो चाहिँ बुझ्ने incretin भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ बुझ्ने. What will happen? Incretins are the hormones which are present on the intestine and they are released immediately after taking the glucose. Meal भन्न सकिन्छ, glucose or the meal. They stimulate the insulin release or they inhibit the glucagon release. Insulin कहाँबाट? Pancreatic beta cell बाट र inhibits the glucagon release from the pancreatic alpha cells, and the overall effect will be lowers the blood glucose level. Okay, one thing is there. Okay, भनेपछि incretin ले के गर्छ? Blood glucose level लाई चाहिँ घटाउँछ. Okay, what is the role of the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 enzyme? Dipeptidyl peptidase 4 enzyme, it inactivates the incretins. It inactivates the incretins. So when there is a higher concentration of the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 enzyme present in the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 enzyme present, so what will happen? They reduces the incretins hormone, activation of the incretins hormone. When there's a inactivation of the incretins hormones, what will happen? They increases the blood glucose level. They increases the blood glucose level. What I mean to say that increase concentration, increase release of the incretins, they lower the blood glucose level, or increase concentration of the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 enzyme, they increases the blood glucose level. They increases the blood glucose level. Now, what are the incretins? So, they are the two newer anti-diabetic drugs. One is the glucagon-like peptide 1 analog. That is the exenatide and the liraglutide. They are the incretin mimetics. They are the incretin glucagon-like peptide, glucagon-like peptide analog. They are the incretins. They are the incretins mimetics. That means they mimics the physiological actions of the incretin. So, what will be their action? Their action will be they lowers the blood glucose level. They lowers the blood glucose level. So, that is they are used in the type 2 diabetes mellitus. They are used in the type 2 diabetes mellitus. Okay. So, what is the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 enzyme? What is the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 enzyme? Second drug is the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitor. Dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitor. So, what is the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitor? They are the sitagliptin, saxagliptin, and the linagliptin. Okay. These are the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitors. There are 4 drugs: saxagliptin, linagliptin, and even the teneligliptin one, no drug. So that's the teneligliptin. So what is their role? Their role is they inhibit the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 enzyme. By inhibiting this dipeptidyl peptidase 4 enzyme, what will happen? They increases the release of the incretin hormones. By increases the release of the incretin hormone, what will happen? They lowers the blood glucose level. That is the newer anti-diabetic drugs. They are the newer anti-diabetic drugs. New oral anti-diabetic drugs are the glucagon-like peptide analogs, which are the incretins mimetics. They lower the blood glucose level. And the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitors, they inhibits the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 enzyme so that they enhances the release of the incretin hormone. So after that will lead to the lowering the blood glucose level. Is that clear? That is the new oral anti-diabetic drug. Okay. यसमा चाहिँ डिटेलमा जानु पर्दैन. Only the important is just remember the name of the drug, glucagon-like peptide 1 analog and the dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitors. Okay. So we have discussed about the oral anti-diabetic drugs and the oral hypoglycemic drug. Among these, the important topics are the sulfonylureas and the glinides. They are the almost similar. And the biguanides ma pani metformin bhannecha, and the alpha glucosidase inhibitors. These are the common topics. And when the rest of the topics, you just remember the name of the drugs. Okay, these are the common. Otherwise, these 3 topics, you have to remember the mechanism of action, you have to remember the indications, their adverse drug reactions, and the contraindications. Okay, now glucagon ko teti detail. You don't need to go into glucagon. What's a glucagon? Glucagon is the hormone that is secreted from the pancreatic alpha cells. Glucagon is the hormone that is secreted from the pancreatic alpha cells. So what is the role of the glucagon? The role of the glucagon in the liver is that increases the gluconeogenesis and it increases the glycogenolysis. It increases the gluconeogenesis, it increases the glycogenolysis. The overall effect will be that increases the plasma blood glucose level. Okay. Now this synthetic preparation of the glucagon is also available. Preparation of the glucagon is also available in the market. That's called the glucagon. So what is the role of the glucagon? Glucagon, they increases the hepatic glyconeogenesis and the hepatic gluconeogenesis. So they increases the plasma glucose level. And what is their indication? The indications of the glucagon is that they are used for the treatment of the hypoglycemia. That is the indication of the glucagon. त्यति मात्र पढ्यो हुन्छ glucagon को बारेमा है. We do not go into detail about the glucagon. Glucagon, commercial preparation of the glucagon is available. Their mechanism of action, they increases the hepatic gluconeogenesis, the hepatic glycogenolysis. So what will happen? They are used for the treatment of the they increases the plasma glucose level, and they are used for the treatment of the hypoglycemia. That is sufficient for the glucagon, right? Okay. I think that is the end of the insulin and the oral anti-diabetic drugs. Okay. Okay. There will be one topic from the this endocrine system is remain. That is the thyroid and the anti-thyroid drugs. I think that topic will be covered by the Kamal sir. Now Kamal sir and